And we want just a nice big blog right inside of there. You could do a little bit fancier here. You could say something like welcome to Nick's blog, something like that. So let's save and reload. Yeah, I think it should be centered. So let's go ahead and go back, and we can go ahead and put a class on this h1 tag and say text-center. Okay, we'll go ahead and save that. Reload. That's looking good. I think there should be some spacing between the two there. So if we go back to our code here, another class that we can add is we could add some padding top dash and like the number 5, for example. If we go back and look at that, gives us some space. 5 might be a little bit extreme. Let's see what 3 looks like. Yeah, that's maybe more of what we're looking for. Again, tons of stuff to learn out there in Bootstrap about these classes and everything. Please dive into that more if you're interested. We also want to let people know that these are the latest blog posts. So I'm going to go ahead and make some lines in between here so that we have a little bit of distance. Great. And then I'm going to do an h2 tag, where then I'll specify that this is the latest posts. So inside of here, we'll say latest posts. Okay, so let's save, see what that looks like. I'm not in love that it's like that far to the left, but you know, we can actually change that with our website so that it's not going edge to edge. So let's go back to Atom here, and what we're going to do is around inside of this main, we're going to wrap everything inside of a container. So we're going to make a new div tag, and we're going to set its class equal to container, just like that. And that means we need to put an ending div tag there. But by doing that, if we go ahead and reload the page, it gives us some nice side spacing there. The next thing that we want to add, if we go ahead to our little sketch here, is a nice little line so that we can separate, you know, the latest blogs are down below. I have the latest posts. Maybe I shouldn't change that to the latest. Yeah, I like latest posts. I think that's pretty cool. Anyways, we can make that straight line with an HR. It's kind of funny as you're making it, you look at your sketch and you're like, yeah, that's what I originally thought, but maybe things should be different. You'll get a feel as you're making it, and feel free to make it your own. Again, this is that situation where it's like, this is the way I'm doing it, but feel free to do it completely the way that you think is great. But this HR is going to add a nice line for us. So let's go ahead, reload. Oh yeah, you can see that nice thin light gray there. Now the next big thing is we've got to start getting these blog posts to show up. So what's great here is you should have everything necessary to know how to get blog posts loading and sent forward to this HTML. So I challenge you to at least get the list of blog names up and running. Now we don't have any blogs saved into our database, so you might want to go make a couple of those, but just write the code so that you can get all the blogs, pass them forward to that allblog.html, and get at least the titles of those blog posts to show up. Okay, feel free to go do this on your own. You learned how to do this essentially with the jobs. This is going to be a little mini challenge for you. Go ahead and hit the pause now. Okay, so hopefully that went well. Hopefully you like my little pause here that I did waiting for you to come back. So my challenge for you was to go get all the blogs and have them show up. So step 1 for us is we've got to go inside of our blog app. We've got to go to our views here, and we've got to go get the blogs. So we're going to say from.models, import the name of our model, which is blog. And I love this. We need to go get all the blogs, so we simply just say blog.objects, simple as that. And we're going to pass that into a blogs variable, at least that's what I decided to call it, and then we'll forward that through. So I'm going to say, you know, the name blogs is going to contain the value of a list of blogs. So we'll go ahead and save that. Now inside of all blogs, what we need to do inside of here is then loop through and essentially like put out the title. So we'll do my curly brackets with parentheses or percentage signs, and we'll say for blog in blogs.all, and then we want to have an end for at the end here, so when that loop knows when to end. So we'll say end for, put a little ending curly bracket there, and inside of each of these we should just be spitting out the blog dot title. I believe that's what we called it. Let's look at the models. Yep, title is what we called that. And to make sure that there's enough spacing between everything, we should probably do a little BR tag after that, so we've got some spacing. All right, moment of truth, I reload. Looks like I only have one blog in there. Didn't follow my own advice of loading a few in, so let me go ahead and add another blog. Maybe one like cheese is my new friend. That happened today. I found a new source of friendship. It's Gouda. I'm trying to do cheese puns and it's not going well. Okay, and I'm going to select an image from this. So now I've got this portfolio sketch. Let's save that. All right, 2 should probably be enough for at least testing around. So let's go to the home page and then /blog. And look at that. We've got the 2 titles showing up. So I hope you enjoyed doing that little, challenge there, at least to get things up and running. So let's keep going here. So the next thing that we need to do is sort of fulfill what we have on here. Like we want to have the title, we want to have the time, and we want to have an image and some text. So sort of step by step here. We already have titles listing out. We want them to be a little bit bigger. So let's maybe go to our code. Let's maybe make all the blogs like an H3 tag. That might be good space there. I need to make that an ending H3 tag. Okay, so we'll save that, reload. That's looking pretty good. We do want those to be surrounded with an A tag so that they can go to a particular location. We won't put the URL in just yet, but let's go ahead and save that. That should make them like bluish looking. There we go, and you can see now they're like clickable. When we hover over, we get that cool little finger guy that's ready to click on stuff. All right, the next thing that we're looking for is the time. Now this is going to be a little bit tricky. I mean, we can get mostly there. For example, if we go back to our code and say, okay, so we put out the blog title, and then we could put out the blog.pub date just like this. But if we go ahead and reload this, like, I don't know if we want to know exactly the exact minute that went out. If you think this is great, that's fine. We're going to talk about how we can sort of alter this a little bit, but and actually there's too much spacing there, I think. So I'm going to go back to the code, get rid of that BR, save that, and yeah, that's more of what I'm looking for. Okay, so we have some sort of timing right now. Then we want to have a picture show up. So let's go ahead and put in a little image tag here. So we now should have a BR so that the image isn't just, right after the publication date. So what we're going to do here is we'll just add a little image tag, close that up. This needs to have a source. So we'll go ahead and set the source equal to the blog.image.url. Make sure you add that URL. That's how you get the link to where the image is located. Let's reload this page. Okay, that is really, really big. In fact, way bigger than we need. So this is where we're going to learn how to scale images. So let's go back to our code here. Now with an image tag, we can specify, like a certain height and weight that we want this to be. So we could say, for example, height needs to be equal to like 200, and we need the width to be equal to 200. So if you wanted like square images, you can specifically say that here, and then when you reload the page, it's going to put those there. Something that I'm not in love with is that it does like this awkward stretching. Something that you can do here is back in Bootstrap, if we go to image responsive. Okay, this is going to help us sort of make this flow around. So we're going to take this image-fluid and we're going to pass that as a class. So let's come back to our code. So this image is now also going to have a class, which should be equal to image-fluid. Let's save that. And then we will reload the page here. And look at that. We get some better scaling there. So even though it could go up higher, it's sort of saying, okay, I'm going to put this in the right position so that it doesn't look all wonky. So really the last thing that we need to add here is the blog summary. And for us, that's going to be as simple as first doing a little line break here. Okay, and then we need to add the summary, which maybe let's just go ahead and put that in a little paragraph tag here. Okay, so we'll put that in, and we want the blog.summary. Okay, so we'll save this and reload the page. Look, we are not seeing the blog summary, so that's a bit of a concern. Let's go back. Maybe we're not spelling that correctly. Let's look at the models. Body is what we called it, not summary. That would explain why that's not showing up. So let's save that and reload the page. Okay, that looks pretty good. We've got, you know, all these different things showing up. So multiple blog posts. The one thing that I'm not in love with is that the date's not exactly showing how I would like, but we can talk about in the next one. We are getting really, really close here when we sort of look at what it is that we've got to do. We've got to fix the time here. We've got to make it so that when you click on a blog post, you can see the full text of that and talk about also a summary. So there's a couple of things we've got to pick around with here. But after that, we just got to learn how to add the resume, some images, get all the links to work properly. And then we are done with this site. I know we've done a lot. I know we've learned so much, but you're so close. Keep sticking around.